Today we're going to be unboxing the Rain 5G Premium. So I ordered this on Sunday and it arrived today on Thursday, so that's about 4 days. They claim that it should take only 3 to 5 days for it to arrive. Now, the reason why maybe it arrived a little bit longer is because of the fact that there was a public holiday on the Tuesday and then on the Monday there was a national shutdown. So maybe on other days it delivered faster, because I know last time when I had the 5G standard, it only took less than 3 days for it to arrive. Now they don't deliver it themselves, they just pay a courier company to send it over. This time it was CCG Courier. And the nice thing is that at least this courier actually lets you choose what time the delivery driver can arrive. You can schedule the date within a 2-hour range. So that means that you won't have to worry about the guy coming at a random time like you would with a place like Takealot, where you might have to just opt for a collection. There is also a Rain store in Sandton, but I've never been there, so I can't really comment on that. But here's the box. It looks quite different to the one we had last time. It looks a bit bigger as well. Now this is the premium, unlike last time when I tried the standard. Now the weird thing is that with the premium, they don't actually tell you the speed of the Wi-Fi here, but they do with like the other cheaper plans. The idea here is that we're going to try and test and see what exactly the speeds are. Now last time when I used Rain, the big issue was that during load shedding, it would just completely stop working. The 4G was fine, but the 5G would just stop working. So apparently they've now fixed that. So hopefully it should be much more usable than last time. So it looks like they've changed the routers again. This one is much smaller than the previous one, and it doesn't have any branding anymore, so I can't tell you if it's Huawei like last time. So it's much smaller. The previous one was like a bit taller, but the colors are more or less the same. And it also has this Rain 5G thing over here, which is also in the previous one. Now, the reason why I'm trying this one again after the bad experience last time is that there really is no, out of a bunch of the unlimited plans that you can find on the internet, I think Rain is one of the only ones that offers truly unlimited, where they don't like slow down your internet after you use a certain amount of data. So there's actually not much in this particular box. As you can see, it's actually empty. So you have this thing here which holds the router, and then this thing which is for the cables. You also get instructions, and they also say, put me by a window for the best signal. Now, when I used to have the previous one, I also already did that. Windows were always the best, because if you leave it indoors, like surrounded by walls, the signal just drops a lot, like much more than with 4G networks. So inside here, we have an Ethernet cable and then a power adapter. So it's a different one. Now, unlike with Telkom, this one does not come with a backup battery. So during load shedding, you will have to have your own power bank or a UPS or whatever, or a generator or whatever. So you then also get the SIM card, which is inside of this thing. You get a SIM tool over here, and then here's the thing. It's got this nice clear look to it. So now to put it in, we just go ahead and let me adjust the brightness. So to insert the SIM card, you just go to the bottom, and right over here is where you'll find the SIM card. So you just flick this open like this, and there you go. So you then just take this thing, it takes nano SIM, so you take out the smallest one on the inside like this. Now be careful to make sure that you put it in the right direction, because if you don't, there's a risk you might break the SIM slot. So you look at this thing right over here to make sure you're putting it in the right direction. Then you just close. So now to plug it into power, we just take this thing and unscrew it. Then you plug it into the back, and now you can see the power button right here. It does take a while to turn on, so it's still turning on. So this seems to not be a Huawei router this time, because the app doesn't work. So now to connect to it, we can use the password at the back over here, or you can use the built-in Ethernet cable. I mean, the included Ethernet cable. So you go ahead and screw it, and you come over to the back, and you just plug it in. The nice thing about using Ethernet is you get faster speeds, and you don't have to worry about putting in passwords. So you just plug it into the computer, and we should be connected. So now that we're plugged into the computer, we will look at the bottom. There should be a username and password, which is what you'll use to set up the router, and also the management console IP. That's the thing you're going to use to set this thing up if you don't want to use an app. So we'll come over to the computer, we'll type in that management IP, which is 192 168.0.1, which is interestingly enough the same as the one for the MTN access. So maybe this is actually a ZTE router. We go over to get started. Now, depending on how we do it, you can either have them both be the same name or different names if you want. Then you just, once you've filled in those details, you just click finish. And so this is what the home page looks like. Once again, it's different to what we had last time. So looks like it's already working right away. So the last 2 times that I tried this network, I actually had to wait for like 5-6 hours before it actually started working. But today it seems like it's working right away. So let's go ahead and start with a speed test. Now, we're not exactly in like a room next to a window or anything, but just to see how it's working and if it's working. So right away, it's really quite disappointing. This is exactly the same speeds as you get for like the 4G one, which is like half the price. So I'll have to move it around the house first to see what the issue is.